Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Courtside Soundoff podcast today. I'm Josh Evanoff. He's Angel Ortega. Sports, there's a thing that still exists. I mean, not really, sort of, not really. I mean, WWE is still happening, but it's without people, and all their sports are canceled. UFC is canceled. NBA is obviously canceled. Bunch of more players tested positive. NFL free agency is going on, which we'll talk a little bit about, and then we're going to end off the show with some fan questions. As always, I'm here with the greatest podcast host of all time, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, the women's pet and the men's regret, the reflection of perfection, the man who caught my attention, and that man is Angel Ortega. Angel, I just got to ask, how was your quarantine going? Because the world's at a standstill. The world's pretty much closed down. How's your? Actually, you're sort of not really in a quarantine, but what have you done, man? How have you been?
I mean, stay clean, stay healthy, not be an idiot. Didn't lick any doorknobs, luckily, haven't. Get a lot of food in the house, so, we good out here. I'm healthy, I feel okay. Life is good right now, for what it is, even knowing with everything going on. And, just trying to, do my job and be entertained and hoping that everything goes back to normal, cause I'm ready to have MMA again and basketball and boxing and everything, cause, there's quite a bit going on.
Yeah, we all want UFC and boxing and NBA back, and we'll talk about the UFC because there's, the next 3 cards were postponed, which we'll get into a bit later, but how have you kind of passed the time with no sports? Like, I know you still, for those that don't know, I can't work. It's my job. I work as a server. That place got shut down. It's like a dinner theater, so that place is shut down right now for the next month. And obviously my other job is writing about UFC, and that's not going on. But I know, Angel, I know your job's still going on. It'd be really fucked if you couldn't work, but how have you passed the time?
Yeah. Well, outside of just, working, I stay home. I go on YouTube, watch pretty much anything I can, listen to anything I can. I paid for my World of Warcraft membership again, so I've been playing a little bit of that addictively, I know. And obviously just playing games, talking to friends, and just staying inside. I don't go. In general, I don't like going out except with my friends. I have an even better reason not to go out now, so nothing's much changed. So I'm still inside. But I did want to join a jiu-jitsu academy and want to get back into the gym. But sadly, with everything that's going on, all those plans got canceled, and now I'm back to being a little hermit in my hermit hole.
In your little hermit hole. Speaking of the gym, I literally freaking today worked out in my basement, put up the heavy bag. I needed something to do because, I'm very much an introvert, so I love sitting in my house. And, I've been joking with my friends for the past couple of weeks that, listen, whenever this whole lockdown happens, whenever this quarantine happens, I'm going to be big chillin' because I love sitting in my house. And Doom Eternal just came out. And I know, Angel, I know you're thinking about buying that game, and I'm 5 levels in. I can tell you need to buy that game desperately once you get done with your WoW addiction. Again, I mean, at one point everybody was addicted to WoW. I mean, I never really went through that phase. I was an EverQuest type of guy.
Which is perfectly okay.
I was too poor to pay for that WoW subscription, so, yeah, that's how it is. Anyway, so but obviously we're gonna get into sports talk, but really quickly, gun to your head, Angel. I use this phrase a lot, but it's really the only way to, kind of get a solidified answer. So Illinois, California, New York all went into lockdown. I've heard a couple rumors that Kansas might go into lockdown, but do you think that we actually will? Obviously, I don't know how in tune with you are, with the news and all that stuff, but there's a rumor going on that, tomorrow we might get locked down. I mean, you won't, 'cause you're essential, but...
I thought, I heard some martial law stuff going on. I'm not too well informed. I could be just talking out of my ass here, which is, I'm sure just offended, a lot of people, but I don't give a fuck. And,
that's all we do here.
And I heard they already set up camps at Arrowhead Stadium, so I don't know. I could be wrong, but I mean, if we are, because of the field I'm in, I will still be working. Sorry to the people out there who all lost their jobs and been laid off. I hope everything works out for you. I hope you can find something. I know it's hard, but good luck. No, I'm not saying that, and that sounds kind of dickish. I'm not trying to say it in any way that's negative. No, it is, I know, no, but I'm trying to clarify that I'm not.
No.
But you know what I mean. I hope you have money and are able to, stay sustainable and be able to live because, I know personally in my life people have been, let go from their jobs and all this is going on. I'm blessed. I'm lucky that I'm still working and I'm able to help my family out, in this time. So, that's kind of what's going on. And do I think there's a chance? I hope not, because as it is, it sucks and it's going to suck even more because then I'm going to have to go out and have to present a document to show that I'm working because of the field I work in. So, that's whatever. It's part of the job, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, and you mentioned martial law. I actually saw that they came out and shot that one down, but
okay, yeah.
There's like that rumor. But then again, all the government does is kind of lie to people. So,
that's what we do, great politicians.
Yeah, honestly, we talk out of our ass a lot here, and I think that means we should run for public office soon.
I'm down.
You could be the VP, and the vice president literally does nothing. Like, I should have known this as somebody who's, tries to be in tune with politics, but I really didn't realize how little the vice president did, so you can totally be the vice president.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, but like I said, I'd be fine with chilling in my house. I don't know if the lockdown's actually gonna happen, because I totally thought it wouldn't happen, just based off of the fact that, Kansas is kind of a sparse, state in terms of population. Obviously there's some big cities. Kansas City's a big city. Kansas City, Kansas. We're in one of the bigger cities of, Kansas, but even then, a big city in Kansas doesn't really mean much. And then you have the rural areas, so it's a very much weird state in terms of population density. So I didn't think it was gonna happen, but we'll see tomorrow. The big rumor is that it might happen tomorrow, but, we'll see what happens. To get on to UFC talk, to get into sports talk, past all the intros, UFC officially, last week, Dana White went in on ESPN, and he officially postponed, not canceled, because if they cancel the shows, they'd have to pay their fucking employees, but, Dana don't want the smoke. We'll get into that later. But anyway, so they postponed the next 3 shows. What does that mean? We don't have a date for them. We don't know this is going to happen, when they're going to take place. Obviously, UFC London, UFC Columbus, and UFC Portland, which was the last 2 were going to take place at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. Obviously, that got scrapped after the Nevada commissioners came in and went, yo, dog, you guys aren't even doing coronavirus testing. You can't have fights here. So that's pretty much what happened. Angel, how heartbroken whenever you got the news that Uncle Dana said that there's going to be no events for the next 3 weeks?
I'm heartbroken, man. This is part of what we do. It's part of my regular weekly entertainment. With good reason. I have no issue with it, right? Because of that, I want everybody to be safe and healthy, and I believe in the practice of, whatever, right? But it sucks because we had some good fucking fights coming up, man. And I was excited to come on here, talk about it. But now, because of everything that's going on, this is going on, and we won't get it at the Apex like we hope so. And if anything, I hope it happens at the Apex so they can figure something out. But, Nevada's on some bullshit, so we gotta deal with that.
So, as of right now, Dana said UFC 249 is still a go, and they're looking at, they sent out the long email before they went on ESPN, and they basically said, UFC 249 is still a go right now, but the location might change. That location is 100% going to need to change. Also, a couple days ago, a bit after Dana, said that, to be specific, March 18th, New York State Athletic Commission announced that the event would not be sanctioned to take place in Brooklyn. That means that Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson, which has been called off due to kidney failure due to eating tiramisu, Tony Ferguson tearing his ACL, MCL, and PCL, tripping over a cable cord, may soon be canceled due to a global pandemic. For the 5th time, also on the card, this card was amazingly stacked, which is why this hurts so much. Because here's the thing, Khabib and Tony, I was convinced that the fight would never happen. This is just another example, so really I think we should stop tempting the MMA gods. Because look at the shit that's going on right now. I don't believe in an actual god, but the MMA gods I believe in. Jessica Andrade, Rose Namajunas also canceled. Magomed Ankalaev, Ian Cutelaba also canceled. Islam Makhachev, Alexander Hernandez also possibly canceled. Jeremy Stevens, Calvin Kattar, Uriah Hall, Jacare Souza. Those are just some of the fights. I know Angel's definitely be more upset about Uriah Hall than anything. do you think, you know what, do you think this fight happens? I mean, there's no way it can happen, right? Like, I mean, also worth noting, Habib and Tony both train in California, and California is now on a statewide lockdown. So.
I mean, if there was someone who could do it, it'd be Dana, and he would make it happen. We still have time. You know, stuff's getting bad. I know that. But, you know, there's hope. I want to see it happen. If anything, it's just a delay, you know? The fighters are fine. You know, they could, you know, God forbid, right? They get sick or anything. But as it stands, everything's okay. It would just be delayed for a later date, you know? And in theory, you know, if everything goes right, this will go by, you know, people will be fine, we'll be healthy, we'll run somewhat smoothly again, and we'll be back to somewhat normal state. So, you know, there's still hope it could happen. Like I said, my wish would have been for it to happen at the Apex. Whether or not they're going to do it there or not, I don't know. Like I said, Nevada on some BS. We'll figure it out, though. It's very unlikely it'll happen, but, you know, I'll just say it will happen because I want to give it some good, you know, I'll manifest it into existence. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen on April 18th. You think it's going to happen?
I hope so. If not, I'm going to do something very bad. In a very public setting. Nothing violent. Just
Jesus Christ.
Nothing violent. I just clarified it wasn't violent, Josh. We're okay.
Nothing violent. Well, what does that even mean, though? What are you going to do in a public setting?
Just have an episode, and I'll just freak out in public. There we go.
Oh, okay. I mean, can we get it on camera, though?
Sure. Why not? It's content.
Yeah, content for the YouTube channel. We've been needing that content.
Oh yeah, greatest freak out.
It was just a prank, bro. It was just a prank. The camera's right there. Whenever the police officers come in to arrest you. Anyways, so yeah, there's a lot. The UFC stuff, really, I've heard that Dubai is an option. I've heard some people saying it might take place in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, but like, off the top of my head, like, everywhere has it. I believe that every single place has the coronavirus. I don't think a single country on the planet has, although, actually, there are countries that have it under control. I think that's important to say. Dana said it'll probably be moving out of the U.S. unless they're holding it on this is fucking hilarious, and I forgot to mention this. So, this week's UFC card, UFC London, which is going to be taking place actually at UFC Oklahoma City. They were going to do the next couple events on an Indian reservation at a casino in Oklahoma City. This is not a joke. This is a fact. This is actually what was going to happen until Trump said no more than 10 people in a room, which I think it's really, really funny that he followed that, because that's technically not a law. That's just what he recommended, despite the fact, I mean, Dan's kind of been doing what he wanted the whole time anyway, whenever they recommended him shit, so, yeah, man, but South Korea actually is going to have basketball back in a month, and other sports are going to be resuming in a month. I believe that is the thing, because they've been on top of this thing the whole time, man. Full credit to South Korea. They got their first case the same day we got ours, and they are testing thousands of people each and every single day. So props to South Korea. If it takes place anywhere, Korea. It might take place. Huh?
I love Korea. I just want to put that out there.
Who doesn't? I mean, North Korea's got that shit under control too.
Wait, do they? Like, all jokes aside.
Okay, I've heard reports that their soldiers are getting it, but I don't think they've officially reported anything.
Well, let's also say this. You know, they've been known to not give very, accurate reports of anything, you know? So,
yeah, that's true.
So for all we know, their people are all dying, which is very sad if that's true.
Yeah, I just saw a report, almost 200 North Korean soldiers dead from the coronavirus. Although they're not claiming anything. So, you know, who really knows? I mean, we know, but we don't know. Yeah, fuck it. We'll just do it in North Korea, man. They said they got it under control. So what's the worst thing that can happen? Anyways, move on to basketball. I mentioned basketball. Korea is going to having it start up in a month, so maybe we'll have to talk about Korean basketball. I really hope it doesn't get that bad. But it does seem like the NBA will I forgot to throw a topic in here, but regardless, we'll talk about it when it comes up. Anyway, so the NBA, I doubt it's going to be back for a while. They said 30 days is what they were aiming for. However, the CDC recommended nothing with over 50 people for 8 weeks. And that means we'd be back probably somewhere around May 10th from when they made that announcement. Something like that, I believe. I don't remember when they said it. It was a week or two ago, but regardless. The NBA, 4 players. Also, I believe a player for the Pistons also tested positive, but it wasn't as significant as the 4 players that tested positive for the Nets a couple of days ago. One of those being Kevin Durant, which was, obviously really surprising because I had no idea he was going to the fucking games. Anyways, KD tested positive, 4 Nets tested positive, and the Lakers are soon going to get tested. They were the last team to play the Nets. Apparently 3 of them were actually symptomatic, and I believe KD might have been one of those who was asymptomatic, which is crazy, because I believe 5 to 10% of the people that get it don't even know they have it. I think that's a statistic thrown out there. Again, Courtside Soundoff facts, stats, or whatever, probably not accurate, but whatever. Angel, do you think that the NBA's back before May? Like, that's what they're aiming for 30 days, but now it's in, like, May, or even, like, June. That's their June out there.
It's so weird, man. Obviously, I don't have any numbers or know anything. I'm not, no genius when it comes to this. I know I'm very, I wouldn't say, I would probably say I'm a very uninformed when it comes to everything that's going on. As far as I'm aware, it'll be a while. And it sucks because everything gets delayed, and once everything goes back to normal, there'll be this weird reset in time. Because I imagine the draft will, let's say NBA doesn't start and the draft happens, the draft will happen, but it's kind of like what happens with playoffs if we make it that far and it isn't back. Like I said, I feel like they should have played with no arenas. I feel like they should have played with no fans in the arenas and stuff like that. And also only play till the playoff picture is set and not play their games out. Because in that way they could also prevent tanking and also have less games played so they can get to playoffs quicker. Just as a, precaution. I feel like they should do that if they do come back or if they decide to play again. It's just my opinion.
Fair enough. I don't think they're going to be back for a while, and I don't think it would be as big of a deal if it weren't so many players testing positive. I think if Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell just tested positive, I think we'd be having a different conversation. But I believe, the center for the Pistons who played Gobert last, I know he tested positive as well. And then you add in the Nets players that tested positive, 4 of them. That's a pretty big number. Who knows how many they infected? You know what I mean? And then the Lakers, I don't know if they've already been tested, but they are going to get tested. And they were the last team to play the Nets. So for all we know, Braun has it. God, I hope not. Obviously we want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to be okay.
Oh no, Bronny.
Not
Bronny.
Let's hope and pray that Bronny's okay.
I'm pretty sure he's playing Warzone last night, so I think he's okay.
Oh, okay, thank God. Who isn't though? 30 million people playing Warzone?
All these players are streaming it, and let me tell you this.
That's the good part.
All these guys are streaming content. They're still talking to the community, making sure they're fine. Max Holloway streamed last night. He was playing Warzone too.
That's true. That's another one.
So, I think that's a good thing. At least the guys are showing that they're doing fine.
You wanna hear something funny? Did you hear what Darren Fox said on Twitter?
What do you say?
He called 2K trash and said that's why none of the players are streaming it.
And dude, none of them are streaming it. At least as far as I don't think I've ever seen any of the guys in the NBA when they have free time stream a 2K game.
It's because 2K is trash now. Not even hitting. I just really don't like 2K20. I thought 2K19 was alright.
Josh is like NBA Live for life.
Honestly, NBA Live 19 I enjoyed more than 2K19. I'll put it that way.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, the last one I really, really enjoyed, I think, was 2K17. That was the last one I really, really enjoyed. But it's not even. This is a discussion for another time.
This could be a whole debate. This could be a whole speech.
Do you like NBA 2K right now?
Yes and no. It's pretty bad. Let's just put it like that. It's just bad.
It's pretty. They've been faltering on all of their sports games. WWE 2K20 is probably the worst game last year.
It's all good. NCAA is going to come back and they'll fix everything.
NCAA games go for like $85 now.
Really?
Yeah, what is it? The last NCAA football game for the Xbox 360 is going for like legitimately $80, I think. Like
aftermarket, like a vintage stock and online and all that?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, 2K actually just got back the NFL license. Now they're going to make NFL 2K games again. So
That's
like I got hyped about that, and then I remembered that 2K20 sucked. So we'll see what happens. It's not happening until next year.
Maybe they can improve it. I mean, it's not like Madden's much better.
That's true. Madden has a good franchise mode, and everything else is trash. That's kind of the way it's been for a while. Now,
it breaks my heart because, like, I feel like sports games are a really good way for guys, or not guys, just people in general who are young to get into video, like into that sport. You know, at least that's how I got more connected to sports. You know, when I was really out of it.
That's entirely fair. That's how I really got into basketball because I started playing. Like I really, really liked basketball when I was younger, and I stopped following it. And then right around 2016. I started following basketball more, and I bought 2K, and I really liked that game, and, you know, it helped me get more into the sport. And the current game's really not helping anybody get into the sport. Like, obviously, I don't know the state of any sports game, really. I don't know the state of FIFA, but I know, like...
FIFA's always AIDS every year.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I've heard. And then no boxing games. UFC's okay, but they only come out...
Though.
Huh?
Big rumor for a boxing game for the last couple of years.
That's true for a while now. Rumor of a fight night game, but still nothing.
Yeah, sadly. I think they started development, but they stopped development. It's weird, but hopefully, I don't think it'd be a bad time to do it because I know people still. There's a community of people. Like there's a big community of people out here who still play Fight Night Champion on a regular basis and play ranked mode. And,
actually, I'll play ranked mode. I'm trash, but.
And I mean, especially now, dude, imagine the mechanics of the game, what you could do with your fighter and the different styles and, you know, all the historic fighters they could add now. I mean, I know that's a lot of licensing, but, man, I mean, it's, I think there's a great opportunity for the game there. Getting really off track here, but, you know, just put that out there. I mean, I don't think any developer out there is listening to this, but,
no, we know they are. EA, listen to us.
Listen here, bitch. Make it happen. Nintendo
launch it right at the same time as Deontay and Fury 3's happening. All the money.
All the money.
Yeah, EA Sports, we know you're listening, so just do it.
Someone.
To go back to sports talk real quickly, this is a basketball topic I forgot to include, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. So, the Big Three is officially doing in April. They're trying to do. It's important to say. I think it's important to say trying to do. Now, obviously, we're massive Big Three fans. Obviously, covered it live last year. Probably one of the more fun sports events I've ever covered. It was just a unique experience down at the Sprint Center and being around other credentialed media who are way more qualified than we are. But regardless, the Big Three in April to start.
That's exactly why we were there. Because we weren't qualified.
I mean, somebody needed to be unqualified, you know, and we were just the men for the job.
Exactly.
The Big Three in April are trying to kind of aid basketball fans' enormous appetite right now because right in the prime of basketball season, everything's done. March Madness is gone. NCAA tournaments are gone. NBA's gone. It's all gone. In April, the Big Three is trying to do a mini tournament. It was like a 3-week quarantine tournament, and I believe the 16 to 22. This is from Chris Haynes on Twitter. Who works for Yahoo. 16 to 22 Big Three players will be housed in the same mansion with games and players' daily lives captured on a camera for added drama and storylines. So this take place over 3 weeks. Now, this is not the greatest fucking story this is not the greatest idea for what is basically a version of Basketball Big Brother. Then, this is amazing. I want to get your opinion on this because I fucking love this. If this happens, I'm so here for it.
Dude, it's entertainment. It's entertainment. I think that's what we need right now. I mean, people need entertainment. People need basketball. I mean, it's there. You got, you know, guys in there who were in the NBA and attract people because they're a name. So it's all there. Like, go for it 110% if you can. And obviously do it right, do it safe. And I mean, I think it's a great opportunity and a great opportunity for the league. Go get it some eyes, which is what they need.
Yeah, and just the idea of having, Big Baby Davis and all these dudes in there, you know some funny shit's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't tell me Gilbert Arenas won't be pranking anyone. You can't tell me there won't be back and forth, trash
Steven
talk.
Jackson's gonna be doing some crazy shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's gonna be some stuff there, and I'm sure there's animosity in between them, and there's guys that don't like each other, and there's guys who don't care. You know, they're just there. There's guys who focus, and I think it'll just be a great dynamic.
I think it's going to be really, really fun. I'm really, really excited for this. I hope it happens. The big three very much, they're in tune, man. Like, they are aware that they don't have the best players on the planet. They're aware that they have a lot of older legends and stuff. Not even really legends, because a lot of legends have enough money where they don't have to do this. They still have older fan favorites, and they have stuff like that. And they're working around it to make a fun experience. Like, overall, the big three first season around, not very fun, but now they've improved, like, year and year afterwards. And now they have this idea. So shout out to the big three, shout out to Ice Cube. They're building up a nice fan base for themselves, and it makes me happy, man. I'll be happy if this comes to fruition.
Oh yeah.
To move on to NFL, and now I'm a massive NFL fan. We didn't really talk about it on the the podcast, because obviously Angels isn't as informed as I am, because I'm a massive NFL fan.
Sadly, I wish I was though. It's fun though. I like to learn, so I like to hear.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just like, I could talk about it for a long time. But the big news, and I think this is one that generally, whenever this happened, whenever this broke, it was like the entire world went, wait, what the fuck? Like, because we're all so in tune with all what's going on the planet right now with the coronavirus talk, and we're all kind of like, oh my god, we might go into lockdown, oh my god, this happened, people are dying, and Tom Brady signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What the fuck is that? In case you're wondering, I'm thoroughly convinced that in 2016, like, whenever Trump won the election, we diverted onto like a split path. Like, the timeline got messed up, and that's why shit is really weird now. Like, that's my only explanation.
That's why Justice League wasn't good. They didn't release the Snyder cut. Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker cut.
The fucking I'm trying to think of more weird shit. Ryan
KSI
Reynolds
versus Logan Paul.
Two YouTubers had the biggest boxing match of the year. Obviously, like, just more.
Andy Ruiz, champion.
Andy Ruiz. That's not even like just in the. There's a global pandemic happening. Like,
Conor fought old people.
Conor McGregor. Fucking Irishman came out through the ranks to become the biggest, like, sports star.
Israel Adesanya, out of nowhere. Like, anime nerd.
It's all in, like, the MMA sphere, but, like, dude, Cleveland won a championship. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Like, the second the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, hell froze. Like, that's just, like, fucking, it's over. Like, weird shit's happening.
Tyreek Hill and his kid just fucking shit up, just not good.
Oh, that's just normal, though.
God.
That's not even weird. That just happens,
O.J. Simpson was released out of prison.
Oh, come on. He didn't do anything wrong, though. Legally, he did not kill those two people, and that's not what he was in jail for, but still. You ever read up why he was in jail? Like, it was uncool, Like, somebody stole his shit, so he stole it right back, and they put him in jail. Madness.
Man.
I mean, yeah, sure, he held up some people at gunpoint, but who hasn't?
I haven't.
Yeah, okay, Angel. You can't see me, but I'm winking. Yeah. Anyway, so Tom Brady signed with the Bucks, and this got me kind of thinking, what is the weirdest legend? Because, like, this is probably, in terms of legends signing with weird teams, this has to be. If it's not at the top of the list.
Talking about across all sports or just in football?
All across all sports, because, like, this has got to be across all sports.
There's some pretty weird ones out there.
Joe Montana to the Chiefs was a weird one, but at the same time, Joe Montana was so successful with the Chiefs, and he was with us for like 3 years. It wasn't that weird by the end. But like,
Scottie Pippen with the Trailblazers, bro. Like, people forget that happened.
I didn't even know, actually.
Really? Now
I
you're
had
informed.
no idea.
Scottie Pippen played against Michael Jordan on the Wizards, and him on the Trailblazers.
I had no idea about that.
Yes.
For some reason, I had no idea how long he lasted in the league.
Didn't Hakeem Olajuwon play for Toronto? Could be wrong.
I think he did.
Yeah, near the end of the career, he played for Toronto. I mean, there's stuff like that, and then,
Pippen played until 2008. Like, he was playing in, what is that, Japan? But it's just.
I mean, Shaq with Finland. The rainbow of teams.
He was playing in Finland.
That's so random.
2008. He played with the Bulls in 2004. That's pretty weird. That's really, really strange.
Uh-huh.
But Shaq, you know what I actually have? I know you know this, but I got a Shaq Celtics jersey. It's my prized possession.
I know. I need to get my Shaq Suns jersey.
I got a D Rose Cavs jersey, which is also one of my prized possessions.
D Rose to the Knicks. That's another weird one.
Dude, I love. You remember whenever D Rose went to the Knicks, and it wasn't
even his choice. We should probably reword that.
Yeah, he got traded.
There's some of these that aren't worded correctly. I'm sure some of these guys got traded, but guys who ended up on these teams,
Yeah, absolutely. Like, just them going is more what I'm talking about.
Just ending up there.
Yeah. Do you remember whenever he got traded? Because I remember I was one of those people who was on the bandwagon that the Knicks were actually be a good team, and I felt so dumb.
I wasn't on the bandwagon, but I'm like, damn, this team looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, that was whenever they had Joakim Noah and fucking D Rose, Carmelo, all them boys.
It didn't look like a bad lineup.
And then they did pretty good through the first half of the season, I remember. And then, I remember who got injured. Probably D Rose. Just being honest, it was probably D Rose who got injured.
I thought he didn't get injured that much that season, actually. I thought he actually had a pretty decent season.
Comparatively speaking, somebody got injured. I know, because then they immediately fell off. I don't remember if it was Carmelo or D Rose or Noah. I mean, Noah's pretty trash then, but
just to throw it out there too, just because we're talking about trades, quickly, I'll mention it. Sorry to cut you off, but KD to the Warriors. Holy fuck. I know, but holy hell, you know what I mean? That's something that is still. I remember that happened. I was like, I was getting really into basketball this time, and I'm like, it's over. There's no point. We don't have to watch basketball anymore.
Yeah, I literally went, I'm not going to watch next year. Now I did, because like a fucking dummy.
I mean, we all did. We all had hope. We all had faith.
Remember, the Cavs team, that was playing the Warriors that year? They went 15-1 heading into that finals. That Cavs team was pretty damn good too, because they upgraded. They got Darren Williams and Kyle Korver, and they got some more shooters. Their defense was slightly improved. Still was trash, but it was slightly improved. And then I somehow was delusional enough to think that they were actually going to win. I didn't think they were going to win, but I thought they might.
Dude, Kyrie Celtics. That's another one. More recent.
Kyrie Celtics. I feel like that one's going to be really weird to look on. I mean, then again, Kyrie's having a weird career, so it's kind of hard to gauge where he's going to end up.
Well, Kyrie's a weird individual to begin with. No hate to Kyrie, but I'm just being honest.
You know what? Okay, this is going to sound really, really mean, and I'm sorry if it does. Sorry, Kyrie, because I know you're listening. But whenever they said the 4 players tested positive, I was almost 100% sure Kyrie Irving was one of them, because he really strikes me as the conspiracy type to just think it's a hoax.
He's like, no, fuck that shit. The moon is flat. Do research.
The moon is flat.
I mean, shit. The moon is flat. I didn't even notice I worded it like that. That's funny as fuck. It's made out of cheese.
I just want to go to the moon, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, dude? We're getting closer. Elon Musk, he's going to make it happen.
We're getting on the Elon train now.
Dude, I've always been on the Elon.
Oh, I love Elon. He's a good guy. He does a lot for his, I know he's done some good, philanthropy, type stuff. I mean, I don't know all of it, but I know he's done it. He donated money to Mr. Beast for all those trees.
Well, I think it's okay, this is kind of a good time to bring it up. This is slightly off topic. This isn't entirely off topic, but it's real news breaking as we're talking. And it's not even sports news, but this will impact you and me, Angel. The Core 4 partners have said that on Tuesday, March 24th, residents will be directed to stay home except for essential needs. This will apply to Jackson County, Missouri, Johnson County, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri, and the unified government of Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas. So I guess I'm not going anywhere for anything. This is going to last for 30 days.
30 days?
Yes. The exceptions include critical government services, infrastructure projects, childcare, healthcare, grocery stores, pharmacies, and delivery, takeout, and drive-through restaurants. Wait a minute, so it's the same thing it is now. Never mind then, that's just...
Rip.
Ripperoni, but, where were we at before? About, weird legends playing and shit?
Yeah.
The weird one, probably all time, still has to be MJ Wizards. Like, I think it has to be. I think it will forever be MJ at the Wizards.
Dude, what do you mean? MJ with the White Sox?
That's true. That's
like,
true.
all
That's
jokes
a
aside,
completely different sport.
yeah, this man actually played a completely different sport. Bo Jackson. I mean, it's not weird, but it's kind of like, that's kind of crazy, you know,
What's
for...
kind of Bo's thing, though? Was that he was a two-sport guy?
Oh, yeah, but it was kind of like, oh, man.
Again, Jay was weirder.
What's the feller who went from football also to baseball? Really good in college. Played with Alex Hernandez, right? He transitioned from football to baseball, right?
Oh, Tim Tebow. That one's still weird.
Yeah. There's another one because he was nasty in college, right? And then went into NFL.
Well, he wasn't even just nasty in college. He was probably one of the best college quarterbacks of all time. And, like, he led the Broncos. He was drafted in the first round by the Broncos, and, like, it was just, he did, first season he was okay, second season he actually started, he led them to a comeback season. They went to the playoffs like 9-7, because the division was trash. And then, that's what it was, the division was trash. If you look up his stats, I think he only threw like 7 touchdowns to 3 interceptions or something. Like, he had extremely pedestrian numbers. But whenever the fourth quarter came, they also had a baller defense and the best kicker in the league. So once it rolled around, like in the fourth quarter, if they were in the game, he just turned it on and actually played like a decent QB. But he just couldn't throw. Like, he was a left-handed guy. He couldn't throw very well, which is a problem whenever you're a fucking quarterback. He had 12 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and he completed 46.5% of his passes. That's terrible. He never really got a chance again. Like, he was in the league for a couple more years. He played for the Jets the next year, and then I think he was in the league till 2016. So yeah, but now he plays for the Mets. He doesn't. He's in the minor leagues, but then again,
he's in the minor leagues. Still playing though, right?
That's true, but like, come on, man. Like, do you know how many? I know you won't know that exact number, and I don't either. But like, there's like 40 rounds in the MLB draft. They pretty much just draft everyone.
True. We talked about this, didn't we? We talked about hockey.
Oh yeah, the fake dude who got drafted in hockey. My favorite sports story.
Yeah.
Literally my favorite sports story. I don't remember the guy's name, but he
next to emergency goalkeepers.
Emergency goalkeepers are fucking dope, though. Like, it's my favorite thing.
You should become one.
You know what? Honestly, I might as well. I might as well go play in minor league baseball.
Why not?
Yeah. Taro Tsujimoto.
Oh my god, there you go.
Drafted
you know what? I just thought of something else. You know what's another weird one? Probably a little weirder to us. Billy Butler. Once he wasn't playing for the Royals anymore.
He played he played for the A's and was trash, and then he went to the Yankees. And he was actually pretty alright for the Yankees. Doing your Billy Butler
weird.
Update? Because he hasn't played professional baseball in like a long time.
Really?
He's been out of the league for a couple of years. But I saw a story a while ago that like he was like straight up raking. Like he was destroying everybody in like, what was it? It was like a rec league.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just fucking up everybody in like Arkansas or something.
But it's like, is it really difficult for him to do that? Like, the man was like a really good baseball player at one point.
It's not hard at all, but it's hilarious.
It's like, you know something? I'll just shit on these guys. Like, I have nothing better than do. I have made plenty of enough money.
Yeah, so that's what he went and did. That's what he's doing right now. Last I saw. But, you want to move on to some fan questions, my guy?
Yes, sir.
Alright, now, we did fan questions. We asked on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my Snapchat. We searched the globe far and wide to get the best fan questions, or the only fan questions you guys would send in. Surprising amount, despite the fact that, you know, obviously we have a couple thousand listeners, obviously. However, still surprising to see that anybody gives a flying fuck about what we had to say. Now, the fan mail, obviously, we gathered some of these are anonymous, some of them are not. The first question, which I'll first answer. Do you guys think Tony Habib happens? We answered this a bit before. Well, I guess I didn't give my opinion. I don't think it happens when it's supposed to, and I don't think it's ever going to happen. this fight's cursed. I think it's the most cursed fight in MMA history. Like, if you look at other ones, like ones that were supposed to happen but didn't, like if you look at, I don't know, Brock Fedor, or Fedor Couture, other fights that have been scheduled and canceled, like, there's been none other like Tony and Khabib. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the amount of times they've been scheduled, literally 5 times. They've literally been scheduled 5 times, and this 5th one's the charm, you know, as the kids say. It's been scheduled 5 times, and it hasn't happened. And I don't know when it will happen, because, I mean, listen, I love these guys, I love Tony, I love Khabib, and there's no other fight that I want to see more. Like, it's so hyped up, and it has to happen, but I don't think it will. Like, it's cursed. Like, I'm not a person who believes in curses. Like, I'm really not. I'm not a religious man, nor am I a man of the faith. I'm not a man of, you know, who believes in stuff like that, but I just think the amount of times that we've been here in the same exact position, it has to be cursed. Like, I mentioned it earlier, but obviously, Khabib, his kidneys failed. He nearly died. He had to go to the hospital at UFC 209. And that's not even including, I'm not going to even talk about the other 2 because I remember the reasons for them. They're probably weird, but I don't remember the reasons why they were canceled the first 2 times. The 3rd time's the charm. UFC 209. I bought this pay-per-view. That's how hyped I was. I was hyped. So I bought this pay-per-view. It was going to be that, and it was going to be Wonder Boy and Tyron Woodley. The day before, Khabib ate some tiramisu earlier in the week and messed up his weight cut. I don't remember if it was earlier in the week or 2 weeks before that, but he messed up his weight cut of a tiramisu, very high sugar thing. And he tried to cut weight, his kidneys failed, he nearly died. The next time, we're back again. I don't remember which one was it. It was 223, and it was going to be Ferguson and Khabib. Again, this time Ferguson was going to be the UFC champion. He won the interim belt against Kevin Lee. He's back, boys. And then he trips and tears everything in his leg on a cable cord. And the fight's canceled. And now the 5th time, here we are. It is less than a month away, and a global pandemic that affects literally everybody is happening. I don't think it happens. I don't think it ever happens. I know for a fact it's not happening April 18th at the Barclays Center or anywhere. I think due to the fact that we're on lockdown. California's in a lockdown where they train. I don't think it's going to happen. Angel, do you think Tony Khabib happens ever?
Probably not. It probably doesn't. But just to keep it short, you know, you give your whole little explanation, your Shabazz Napier, whatever. Probably not. Do I want it to happen? Yes. That's why I say it, because I hope it's a reality. But it probably doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but I laid out a pretty damn good case for why this fight is cursed. Like, it has to be. Like, I'm not a man who believes in curses or anything like that, but it's got to be.
You're not sure position or anything, but yeah, it's a possibility.
Next fan question. Have you guys? Well, actually, I know for a fact. I worded this question a bit differently than they actually asked it. Like, do you guys follow Pro Tag? Angel, do you know what Pro Tag is?
Isn't it where they play tag, like in this little
professional tag league?
Yes, I've seen it. Don't follow it, but I've seen it. Yeah,
because this is. I was kind of hoping you hadn't heard of it because I really wanted to explain to you what it is. But obviously, you know what it is. I fucking love Pro Tag. I don't follow it, but I've seen the clips. It is the most fun shit you can possibly watch. It's just ridiculous. Like, can we get this in the Olympics? Like, this is what we need. We don't need, like, other shit in the Olympics. We don't need, like, what's one nobody gives a shit about? Who cares about swimming? Am I right, fellas? Who cares about gymnastics? We need Pro Tag in the Olympics. I don't know anything about it. I just know that it looks awesome, and at one point I would love to do it. Like, I know I'd get fucked up. Like, whoever would be going against would totally win. But, like...
Usain Bolt.
You know what, Angel? We gotta have us in a Pro Tag match.
Maybe.
You could do that parkour.
Parkour.
Hardcore parkour. Next question. What made you guys want to do a podcast? Now,
number of things. A number of things, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we want to get paid. I think that's the biggest...
That money.
That money. We need money. No, I guess, for me personally, like, I just like talking. I've wanted to do a podcast for a long time. I enjoy giving my opinions. I don't know. I mean, what reasons do you have for, because I know I asked you. I know that I'm the one who asked you to kind of, like, we've talked about it for a long time before we actually officially started it.
I know I always had an interest in content creation, and I didn't know, but I fell in love with the podcast, the Bad Kid Cast with Keem way back when. And I was so entertained to it. I listened to every single episode. I even re-listened to the whole podcast from my middle school years when I was really down and depressed late at night, every night before not even going to bed, from waking up from going to bed. When I get home, I just go to bed and because I was sad and depressed, and I wake up and listen to the podcast. And that kind of helped me. But outside of that, I mean, it kind of led to, I wanted to do a podcast after that. I remember we kind of attempted it when we were younger, even more younger, I should say. And, it just never really clicked. And then I never had a really good reason to ever start one. And then eventually now, within the last couple of years, I mean, I got a good reason to do it now. 50 episodes later, a year later, we're here, and, I'm having fun with it. I find it fun. I think it gives me an excuse to talk to my friend once a week to check up on him, see how he's doing, and then catch up on sports and talk about what we like, because at the end of the day, I mean, just like any guys or girls out there, we just like sports talks, and it's kind of fun, and it's something easy that we can do, and we put our time into, and we have a good time, and then maybe one day this could turn into something more.
I think you just did a lot better job laying stuff out than I possibly could, but yeah, like I've always liked podcasts. I've always enjoyed Painkiller already, which is like my main podcast. I still listen to it. Shout out my man Taylor, Merca, Kyle, them boys, RSK, you know how it is. The Bad Kid Cast I loved a lot. Obviously Angel mentioned it, and I literally forgot about it until right now, but I loved that, and hopefully Losing Blade can get the help he needs. Yeah, shout out Keemstar. I need to listen to his new podcast, the one with Face Banks. I don't remember the name. Your Mom's Basement, I think it is. Mom's Basement, it's good. Yeah. And I don't know. I love. There's a lot of podcasts to listen to right now. Like obviously, the Man in the Myth podcast. I'm a massive fan of PKA. I already mentioned it. A lot of MMA ones, honestly. JRE is a good one. Pod Save America is a good kind of like I guess political one. It is run by like former people in the Obama administration. Very, very fun one right there. Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts. Pretty much a podcast like all the time. Like I used to be a big music person, not as much anymore, and so I've kind of turned my attention to podcasts. Is there a fighter that got you into the sport of MMA? I had mine, obviously, Angel. Was there a specific one for you?
I don't know if I could necessarily identify. I mean, could we say boxing? Would you include boxing too?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
It's not a real person, right? This is going to be kind of a cop-out here. But, I connected a lot with the Rocky character. Which I know it's kind of like, well, not really, it's not a real boxer, it's a character. But, that's kind of what got me into boxing and combat sports, and then, and then Bruce Lee, who was a real athlete, which then led me to getting into, boxing and seeing Chavez Jr., Pacquiao, Mayweather, Canelo, and, until now, Mike Tyson, it kind of grew from there. And then in MMA, my first real one, I guess, I just thought about it, would be, Mighty Mouse. Demetrius Johnson was kind of one of the first guys I saw. I remember I saw a BuzzFeed video. He was in it. And for some reason, I really connected with him and really just found him to be an interesting personality. So I guess, when it comes to it, I guess it would be Demetrius Johnson if I had to narrow it down to one.
Yeah, DJ is a good pick. DJ is a pretty good pick. Honestly, for me personally, going back sort of to literally, it has to do with PK because I literally just mentioned it. Joe Lozon, friend of the podcast, goes on there a lot, or at least he used to go on there a lot. He hasn't been on there in a while. But he used to go on there a lot, and I was like, oh, this is the UFC fighter guy, and, I ended up interviewing him a couple years later. Love Joe Lozon. But it was around the time, I can still remember, it was like around, because I've seen UFC fights before. Brock Lesnar was a big one. The big ones I knew about, but I didn't really watch the sport that in depth until I saw, Joe Lozon on, and it was right before Jones Cormier won. I think that was UFC 182, I believe. And like they're talking about how like they're both undefeated and they're both the two best guys 205, and just hearing them talk about UFC talk on there made me want to watch that fight. So I watched that fight. I got Fight Pass. I started educating myself more and more. And like, I had my favorites. And Ronda Rousey, I was a massive Rousey fan way back in the day. Conor fan, whenever he was on the way up. And then I found my guys, Joe Lauzon, Daniel Cormier, so on and so forth. Guys like that I just loved watching. So there was a lot of them, man. So just that's kind of the way I got into the sport. And obviously now here I am in 2020 years later, and I cover it live and stuff like that. And I'm on a podcast with my best friend, and we're talking about all that shit. So yeah, it ended up pretty well, I'd say. This one kind of an interesting one. All-time favorite sports story. Now, I actually mentioned mine a minute ago. Like, not a minute ago, but Taro Tsujimoto. Angel, I'm kind of talking about mine so you can think of yours. I'm assuming you don't have one off the top of your head, but Taro Tsujimoto was a fictitious hockey player who was selected by the Buffalo Sabres in the 11th round of the 1974 amateur NHL draft. This was not a real person. And, like, you know, they didn't know who to draft, and so they were just like, alright, we're gonna fuck with him. We're gonna draft this fake dude, you know, from the, Japan Ice Hockey League's Tokyo Katanas in 1974, and they made it official. It was reported by, you know, media outlets, and it wasn't until, I don't even remember when, years later, that they even learned that not years later, but months later, they found out he was a fake person. And now, you know, they've had, cards of him, like, you know, collectible cards of him, stuff like that. So it's probably one of my favorite sports stories of all time. There's other ones, you know, like, I don't remember who it was, but an NFL player, like, he was told, you know, you can't play this game. Like, if you're gonna play this game, you have a messed up finger, you're gonna have to cut your finger off. So he cut his finger off. So I don't remember who that was, but it was a pretty insane story. I think it was in the Super Bowl. Played for the 49ers, I'm pretty sure. Angel, do you have a favorite sports story?
I have two. I'm pretty sure it's Malice in the Palace. Nate Robinson tells, I think it was Isaiah Thomas, the point guard, the original Isaiah Thomas. No, hates Isaiah Thomas now. You know, he's coaching at the time. I could be wrong. I don't know exactly who the coach is, but I know it's Isaiah Thomas. Nate Robinson's on the team. It's on the Nuggets, if I remember right. Whatever. Thing is, fight's about to break out. There's already heat. Isaiah Thomas is like, I'm gonna fucking fine you guys if you guys don't fight. Like, if the fight starts and you don't fight, I'm gonna fine every single one of you. Right now, Nate Robinson told that story on the Michael Rappaport podcast, the one he has with him. And I thought that shit was, like, so real, so old school, so raw, and I loved it. And he paid their fines. He paid the fines of the guys, which I thought was crazy too.
Damn, I didn't even know that one.
So shout out to Isaiah Thomas. Another one. What's the other one I had in the back of my head? They had an NBA executive right there. They were talking about, he said, you know, it's crazy how some of these guys don't care about when these guys get drafted, because he said, there was a big NBA player. He didn't say the name. I have a theory behind who it is. He's like, they had a press conference. He was talking how excited, basically the owner of the team or whoever it was, or the guy in charge of making the pick or whatever, went up and talked. And he's like, oh yeah, we're so excited to have X player on the team, you know. And he said that right after that, he goes, shakes the hands player, you know, they're taking the picture. He leans over into his ear and he's like, right after this, I'm trading your fucking ass to a different team. And I have a theory that player might have been Kobe.
Really?
From that story, from the details he gave, I have a theory that might be Kobe. I might be completely wrong, because Kobe was traded. You know,
sure.
He was presented to be a Charlotte Hornet, but ended up getting traded to the Lakers. So I in my head, I like to believe that story was Kobe. I don't know if it was, but I think that story's kind of crazy.
It's not like anybody's gonna fact check. I'm sure it was Kobe.
And then that guy said that player went on to be he didn't say who it was, he didn't give any details. He's like, let's just say he's a big player, and then later went to be successful, very successful. And I just theorized, and then in my eyes, I just theorized that's Kobe. But yeah, those are two of my favorite stories. I know there's more, but that's probably two of my favorite.
Full credit. Those are actually pretty damn good stories. Those are a lot better than anything I have. I'm a big fan of Taro Tsujimoto, but those are actually pretty damn good stories. This one, too, I figured these will be kind of rapid fire questions. What's your opinion on rugby? Mine don't have one. It's not really a sport that's relevant here. I know that we have, you know, obviously people that watch us in other countries and do us in other countries. Surprisingly, the UK and France are both surprisingly big markets for us, but I don't have an opinion. Like, I mean,
Neither do I, but it looks cool. Let me tell you that, it looks cool. I think it looks cool. I like to watch it sometimes.
Rugby, so.
That's kind of badass.
It is pretty badass. She's a little badass. She's a 4'11" killer, so. Played with the guys, so shout out her. Shout out Leslie. Best achievement in the past year, for me, it's literally just the shit I've done in the media space. Like, because I spent last year, most of it was actually just covering shit live. Because before that, I didn't really start until late 2018, I'd say. And then 2019 was really my first full year of doing it. And I collected, I still have, my thing in my room. I have, a little, hanger. Put it on my door. And I can see all of my media, press passes. And there's a fucking lot of them now. So that's probably my best achievement in the last year, you know?
I'd probably say, just starting the podcast. Actually starting the podcast, getting it going, improving, our conversation skills within the podcast, having a better flow, not having so much awkward silence in between. And we still have it at times, but it's a lot better than what it was when we started. And I think that's kind of a big thing for me. At least within this. I have other achievements I have outside of this that were great, within the past year. And I think when it comes to talking about directly just about a podcast, it's definitely just improving the quality and the content and, my knowledge about the sport. Because I am still a casual, I'm still a fan. At the end of the day, because I think we have a good dynamic here between writer, analyst, and fan, and I kind of like keeping that because I think it's important to have an outside perspective. And I try to educate myself. I learned so much about MMA, so much about boxing that I didn't know within, the last year and couple years, and then same with basketball. And it's great, and I think that's kind of one of my biggest achievements too. It's just learning more about the sport, knowing more about the sport, and wanting to be a part of the sport more. Oh, did we die there? Are we good? I think we still got audio.
Yeah, I just got back. So my shit cut out, which, that happens. Shitty Wi-Fi, you know how it is. But, in terms of, I'd say improving the podcast has always been one of my more things I want to work on, because I think we can do work, we can always work on it, we can always improve, we can always make it better. That's always kind of my viewpoint I've always wanted to have on anything, whether it be writing, because I sometimes go back and I look at my, writing that I did when I first started, when I was a writer for Cage Pages, and they didn't pay me anything, shout out Fansided. I'm not just saying I deserve to get paid, but everybody else was. Anyways, I was garbage. I was straight up garbage. The podcast, when we first started, I was gonna say it's garbage, but we've had to work on it, and we've improved it over time. So I'd say, in the past year, but overall, past year, best achievement, it's obviously been my media thing. Interviewing some of these people that I've looked up to for a long time, writing a lot, just going to live events, which is something I've always wanted to do, and I've actually taken the steps to make that happen. And I started college this past year, so that was pretty cool. I got on the Dean's Honor Roll after my mom pretty much said you won't do anything in college. So shout out my family hating me as always. I've done some pretty cool live stuff the past year. I know Angel has as well, and this podcast has always been the fun thing that we can do for 60 minutes and talk. So, Angel, you got anything else to add before we wrap up here?
Nothing. Is there any goals you like to set? Not for this year, but lifetime goals that you want to do within the podcast?
World domination, obviously.
Of course.
Something I've always wanted to do that I think would be cool is going on, because you see some podcasts have a tour. If we ever get to the point where we can be big enough to have a tour, I'd fucking love to do that. They do live shows, what I'm saying. Oh yeah,
that'd be fun. Definitely a life goal I have for us is definitely get guests on the podcast, fighters, players, whatever it may be, amateurs. That's something definitely that I like for us to do. And then I want to attend a boxing event at some point within our time as media, because I just think that'd be fun. That's a life goal right now. Obviously, my dream would be to attend something at MSG and be there on the side and cover it live. I think that'd be really fun. I know we're really far away from that, but I did say it is a life goal, and reach for the stars. Am I right?
Fair enough. And well, in terms of boxing, covering an event live, I've been trying to do that for a while. And I saw that Invicta is trying to start up boxing. So that's if Invicta actually ends up starting up their boxing promotion, I would love to cover that live. But Kansas City is just not a hotbed for boxing for whatever reason. There's really not a whole lot that goes on. It kind of sucks, but that's just the way it is. I mean, we have a pretty decently sized MMA community here. Not even just with Invicta. Shamrock FC is a pretty big one. We have Blue Corner Fighting, which is also happening. The Voodoo Lounge, like every month. So there's a lot in Kansas City for MMA, but nothing for boxing, which kind of sucks.
And there's a lot of gyms here too, for MMA and boxing. Yeah, there's I mean, we have a crazy jiu-jitsu academy here.
Yeah, we also have American Top Team here. We have one of them.
Oh yeah. So I mean, hopefully that keeps growing, and hopefully we keep growing, and we keep putting out great content. I mean, I know with all this going on right now, it's definitely slacking a little bit, but we're still out here. We're still putting in that work. We're still putting in that 9 to 5, you know. No, I'm just kidding. But we're here.
Absolutely. Putting in that typically like 12 to 1. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoy this one. This is kind of the first, end of the year, not really end of the year, but end of the 1 year since we've been doing this podcast. First episode, I believe, is uploaded March 25th, and now here we are, March 21st. It'll be really the first year, sort of. We're gonna round up. It's just complete insanity. I didn't think we'd actually make it this far, but you know, we did. The amount of success has been kind of surprising in terms of like viewership and all that stuff. So as always, we appreciate it. Courtside Soundoff on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, anywhere you can find a podcast, we're almost definitely there. Follow us on Twitter. That's where you do our most interactive stuff. Thanks to the people that send in fan mail questions. Honestly, I don't think it'll be a weekly thing, but I'd love to do fan mail questions anytime we can get them. I appreciate that. I love talking to you guys. I love interacting with you guys on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything. So yeah, thanks you guys for as always. So peace and bug grease. Mouse click.